Let us start with the basics of HVAC drafting today. And we all have the notes for the drafting behind the data book. All right. It says Introduction to HVAC Module 4. And आज तो basic complete introduction रहेगा on how to understand how the drafting actually starts and how to proceed and etc. All right. What we need to actually start doing is we have to first understand the meaning of drafting before we even enter to the world of drafting. All right. So in the earlier classes and basic classes, as I have mentioned, the drafting is nothing but it is an engineering drawing. All right. Engineering drawing, and when we are assigning the word engineering to it, जब हम जो word engineering उसके साथ add कर देंगे, what usually happens is it gets a meaning in depth. For example, civil drafting, HVAC drafting, there is electrical drafting and etc. All right. So whenever we are trying to show something in which is going to be converted into reality, depending upon your plan, depending upon your drawing, is what is going to be a drafting. Since we are dealing with the system and service design, and we are dealing with the first first segment of the mechanical engineering, that is dealing with the HVAC service, we are going to deal with the HVAC drafting. In the HVAC drafting, if we are going to get the clear synopsis, it is going to be how to do the air ducting, how to assign the ductwork in SLD form and DLD form. Now, what is going to be SLD and what is going to be DLD is what you will be understanding a little further. All right. Usually, the SLD is the actual duty of a design engineer or a project engineer who is going to incorporate his ideas to create a basic drawing, and that drawing is only going to exhibit the HVAC service. Normally, when until now in the course that you people have come across, which module is going on? Second module is started, ended, going on, right? So you all know the parameters on how to do the duct designing, right? You have a velocity regain method, you have a equal friction method, then you have come across the different name and nomenclature of air terminals, all right, diffusers and grills, right? So like that you'll be getting registers and different kind of volume control dampers to control the volume and etc. Now in that place, when we know that air terminal jab aata hai dimag mein, so we know ki it can be most of all the diffusers, or most of all it can be the grills. Now how to decide where to place the diffuser, where to place the grill, is what you will be understanding in the drafting. Clear? So before we even go into the depth, we need to brush up some basic technical terms and conditions, some technical names of different varieties of objects, and some technical applications on where to apply the HVAC service. All right. So Yogesh, do you know the difference between different kind of false ceilings? आपने real life में भी देखे होंगे, right? So can you tell me a few examples of false ceilings, different kind of false ceilings? Which all do you know? Grade. Okay. And then there is, okay, totally related to the ceilings, false ceilings. There is tiles and grids mean the same. There is going to be plain false ceiling as such. All right. Then there is going to be step false ceiling that is usually found in villas and etc. Now the material can be different. All right. कोई thermal का हो सकता है, कोई gypsum board का हो सकता है. अगर false floor लगाने वाले हैं तो woodwork का हो सकता है. All right. हाँ, puff panel, PUV panels, बहुत सारे अलग अलग, we have different kind of varieties. Now we are going to consider majorly the tiles, the plane and the step false ceiling in order to understand the placement of air terminals, that is majorly diffusers and grills. All right. Now when we are going to deal with the service study, we should know how it is going to begin with. What is the starting, the base point for you to do the drafting, or in reality when you're going to actually start doing the single line drawing, because as being a part of the engineering course, as being part of the engineering side, on being strongly affirmative on holding a BTech degree, you people can look forward for entering into a business line which is focusing more on the designer side, right? You have to focus more on giving the implementation for a building. You have to make your considerations very strong when it comes to the design segment. All right. So the single line drawing and double line drawing is not only meant for the ducting side, or it's not only meant for the drafting side, or it's not only meant for the main draftman to do. SLD की जब बात होती है, it means totally that it is a concept design. It's a flow of your art. All right, आपका पाइप या आपका डक्ट वहां से भी ऐसा आ सकता है या बीच में से भी ऐसा गुजर सकता है, वो आप है डिसाइड करने वाले. You have to check all the physical parameters like friction, velocity, and what else is there? You have roughness. All right, you have the CFM margin. All right, you have so many considerations to take place, how the airflow is moving, how the distribution is coming, if there is a lot of noise inside the circulation of the duct. All these parameters are going to help you make one particular duct. We are not talking about how to build a duct. We are only going to talk about how to draw a duct. In the drafting, we are only talking about drawing. All right, how to draw one particular thing using the AutoCAD commands. All right, लेकिन जो चीज हम draw करेंगे उसका technical parameter होना चाहिए हमको कि ये चीज ऐसे ही आ सकती है. And most of all, we are going to take all the readings in terms of millimeters. That is in regard with mm. All right. So in the basic introduction and in the basic first class that we are going to do, we are not going to go in much detail, but yes, we surely need to start getting into the detail. All right, क्योंकि अब अगर आप नहीं समझेंगे तो later on it is going to become very difficult. जब बात SLD की ये हो गई है that it is going to be a concept drawing, it's going to be as per the design, it's going to be as per your, they now have 6 minds in class. Each one of you can give me a different SLD drawing. If I'm going to give you a project, it's not necessarily you can give me the same one. You have to find your own approximation on how to give the best that is going to suit all the conditions. Is it clear? So एक SLD drawing होगी जो आप as a duty you have to do. That particular conversion into the real drawing, into the real shop drawing is going to be done by a draftsman, a junior draftsman or a senior draftsman or a supervisors of draftsmen and etc. depending upon the mega structure and depending upon the psychology of the building and the construction, वो depend करता है कि कौन करने वाला है. तो एक normal SLD drawing when converted to a DLD is going to contain all the maximum details what the SLD drawing does not give. Now, if I'm making a straight line from up to this side to this side, but there is a pillar coming in between, maybe I'll be needing a offset for that, or maybe I'll be taking my duct with a reducer or etc. That will not be shown in SLD drawing. That is to be understood by having a beam or a column in between by the draftsman that the duct cannot run in continuation. All right. So the physical parameters on how to actually look for the drawing on the real site is the meaning of your double line drawing. Clear? So a double line drawing, you have to anyway know the knowledge on how to do it is correct or not, because you are the one who's going to approve it later on being a design engineer or being the consultant side or even being on the contractor side. All right, क्योंकि जो दिखेगा वही बनेगा. Is it clear? So you have to put that in mind कि जो जैसा बनने create होगा वो वैसे ही बनेगा. Where? On the field, on the site. Fine. So for doing that, a lot of imagination is required. A lot of visualization is required. You have to feel as if you are there taking the cool refrigerated air up to you. तभी जाके आपको वो चीज thinking आएगी, अगर मैं उस corner में I'm going to stand and my supplier is on this end, how it is going to let the air revolve into that situation or until that position. Is it clear? So there is a lot of possibilities when you try to do drafting. There is a lot of ideas that are going to erupt when you're going to do the drafting. Is it clear? So you have to be very active, you have to be very sharp, and you have to come with a lot of deliveries. कि इसको ऐसे भी कर सकते हैं ना, इसको वैसे भी कर सकते हैं ना, right? So जितना powerful आपकी thinking imagination होगी उतना clear drawing बन सकती है. All right. Normally in the market when the people talk about drafting, they'll be like हमको करने की जरूरत नहीं है ये. The other people can start doing it. The other people who are not on the field can actually start imagining and doing it. But if you are not going to input your powerful ideas into that, what is he going to do? He's only converting an existing drawing. उनका काम उतना ही है draftsmen का. ठीक है, उनको नहीं बुलाया जाएगा साइड पे कि ये take the measurement, start creating the building. No one is going to do that. All right. He is a person with limited amount of knowledge. You are a person with unlimited amount of knowledge. There lies the difference. All right. So you can take care of a situation. He can take only care of a condition. This is the basic difference on how you have to judge and how you have to understand. Is it clear? So ये सारी चीजों को याद रखो. This is going to be the limitation. This is going to be the basic on how you have to proceed. All right. So if we're going to continue the reading, that is Introduction to HVAC Drafting. It says drafting is an engineering design which we prepare using the AutoCAD software. All right. As we deal with the HVAC service precisely, only talking about the HVAC, that is heating, ventilating, air conditioning service, it is called as HVAC drafting. If the same thing is going to work on the civil side construction, it will be called a civil drafting. If after the M, you have M from among M.E.P, you have the E segment in below. All right, in between that we'll be considering with electrical drafting. All right, so the parameters, the function, the abbreviations, the follow-ups, the text, the commands also depend on the service that you're providing. Fine, so ये basic चीजें हैं जो you should know and you will be knowing जैसे जैसे course बढ़े. All right, then during the execution of the HVAC project, we first have to look at the architectural layout that is going to be a normal civil plan. Now, from a civil plan, there are two different things that have been distinguished here. One is the architectural engineer, one is the structural engineer. All right, so you should be knowing that what an architect is going to include in a civil plan and what is a structural engineer going to include in a civil plan, because जो चीज आपके पास बन के आएगी, it is depending upon that you'll be starting to draw or deal with our particular service. Right. So Zaid, what does an architectural drawing include or consist of? Sorry? No, not in general, just a plan. There will be a plan in the structural and engineer segment also, right? What the physical components are going to be included in an architectural drawing, right? So an architectural engineer or architecture plan is going to consist of your walls, very basically. And अगर एक wall आ जाता है तो एक window आ सकती है उसमें. So next thing is there is a window. एक wall अगर आ जाएगा तो there is going to be an entrance. There is going to be a door. अगर wall आ जाएगा तो नीचे उसके जमीन होना चाहिए, that becomes a floor. Okay, to make it a standing elevation. उसके ऊपर कुछ अगर होने वाला है तो there can be a ceiling. All right, below that there can be a false ceiling. These all things are going to be incorporated under a architectural view. ठीक है, क्योंकि आप जो सर्विस करने वाले हैं, your service is going to run above the false ceiling, your details, है कि नहीं? Right? What is going to be there in a structural drawing? There is going to be the total strength that is managing the construction. First of all, there is again going to be walls, but which one? Foundation walls. जमीन के नीचे. Foundation walls. Next thing is there is columns. There are going to be structural columns. There are going to be iron rods. There are going to be, partitions. There are going to be beams. There are going to be pillars. There are going to be slabs. Right? So वो सारी चीजें are going to come under the structural drawing. तो ये दोनों चीज जब mix हो जाते हैं, they are going to merge together. A civil plan is going to be constructed, which is important for us to start our phase of construction. All right, even on the site, can I say that my duct is ready? Can I say that my air terminal is ready? सिर्फ आपका civil plan लो और उसको लगा दो. They cannot do that. I cannot also do that. Right, you cannot do that being on the HVAC service. Fine. So for you to start building or fixing something, there has to be an element already ready. That is called first phase of construction, which deals with your civil designing, like the architectural and the structural commodity. Now, that is not going to be talked about whether it's going to be a residential flat, whether it's going to be a commercial space, whether it's going to be an industrial stadium, whether it's going to be an industrial factory or anything. In general, ठीक है, कोई भी जगह पे I cannot directly go and apply my HVAC service if there is no civil conduction provided to me. A civil plan is not brought to me. I cannot start thinking on way to start and way to end from. Fine. So एक civil plan के अंदर ये दो चीजें जब होगी आपको detail मिलेगा and you will try to understand where to actually start from. Clear? So reading and understanding a civil plan is majorly a responsibility. You should know what is what in a civil drawing. You should know how that the doors look like. You should know how in real life the windows are going to be applied. You should know what is the wall material. You should know what is the false ceiling material. All those things are included in your part of design, even though you do not belong to the particular civil site service. Okay. Now this complete M.E.P design side is actually, I love telling this word, it's a conjecture. All right. Conjecture का मतलब है in connection. आपको सिविल की नॉलेज भी जरूरी है, आपको आर्किटेक्ट की नॉलेज भी जरूरी है, आपको अपनी खुद की नॉलेज तो चाहिए, आपको इलेक्ट्रिकल की नॉलेज भी जरूरी. ठीक है, उतना नहीं जितना आप अपने खुद के लाइन में एक्सेल कर सकते. You need minimum of everything. All right, you need a little minimum of M also, E also, P also, firefighting also, civil also, everything. It is totally a conjecture. All right, so now that we are going to deal totally with the HVAC project execution and how our services is coming into play, it starts from the actual consultant drawing. What does a client actually require? He's dealing with some air conditioning or central AC department. He wants to apply a central AC flat or maybe a central AC villa for himself or maybe for someone else. Now he proceeds by giving this first call to the architect. I am coming up with a project. I need your assistance. What does the architect do? He will then respond towards the design, not directly. पहले आपको, you only have to gather information. You only have to gather the data and the requirements on what you actually want. How he wants is your responsibility. आई बात समझ में? What he wants is his responsibility. How he wants is your responsibility. You are going to draft that on a piece of sheet. आ रही है बात समझ में? So that starts from one particular thought process from the client, from the consultant. The architect gets a call. He starts collecting the structural engineer. The structural engineer starts collecting a mechanical, electrical, resourceful engineer to start the above services. The service engineers or the service design drawing comes only into play if it is related to HVAC, electrical, plumbing, firefighting. Is it clear? All right. So पहले the architectural drawing बनेगी, then you will be coming up with the actual structural drawing along with that, and then it is going to deal with our service design. So when it is, we're talking about the service design drawing, it is independent of all services. There is nowhere going to fall with HVAC, electrical, plumbing, firefighting, all drawings together is not called a service drawing. Individually HVAC, individually electrical is called a service drawing. हर चीज का 4 drawings आपको बनेगी. HVAC, electrical, plumbing, firefighting. That individual service drawing is going to be converted into a shop drawing. Now, what is a shop drawing? A basic introduction, a basic definition. A shop drawing, mein what will you get? Is it? No. What is a shop drawing? We have learned this in chapter 1 itself, in the beginning. Yeah, it's a detailed drawing of the concerned department that you're trying to show. It's a detailed drawing. Everything it is going to include. All right, जो नहीं दिखाना चाहिए वो नहीं दिखाएंगे, जो दिखाना चाहिए पूरी तरीके से it will be in detail. Fine. So that is your shop drawing. So every service is independently going to create a shop drawing. That shop drawing, if it is rejected, it is going to be updated again. Means there is some fault in that. It has to be remodified. It's not approved by your seniors. If it is approved, that particular but one service design drawing, if approved, it goes to the next secondary or higher department, which is called M.E.P coordination drawing. Now it is at this place where HVAC drawing, electrical drawing, plumbing drawing, firefighting drawing are going to be clubbed to understand if the M.E.P services are going in accordance. If there is going to be any clash detection, this is the position to acknowledge them. वो clash detection आपको separate करना. You have to just renew the drawing. If it is rejected, again individual shop drawings are to be created. If it is not rejected, if it is going to be follow on, then it will be going approve, and then it will be going to the builder's work drawing. Now what is a builder's work drawing from the word itself? On the construction side, inclusive of shop drawings of all services from the starting. ठीक है, जो आपके पास एक लेबर होगा, एक जो साइट पे जो अवेलेबिलिटी होगी, the builder's work drawing is not only going to get your labor who is good in HVAC part, or who's good only in the electrical part, or who's good only in the civil part. It will be a general labor. Now your builder is going to have a union of labors, and because everyone is good in different thing. Even a labor is having his own principles of working. Every labor cannot directly just go on the field and start building up the mud. Clear? So उनका भी एक आर्ट है, उनका भी एक तरीका है. So after your MEP coordination drawing is sustained and approved, it goes to the builder's work drawing where the complete design schedule is there, with the civil drawing, MEP drawing, and etc. From that individual portion, if required, can be limited and printed and given to the laborers for proper understanding कि पहले architectural plan कैसे उठना है. उसके बाद जब ये इतना पोर्शन में उठ जाएगा, 5 floors आ जाएंगे, तो how the AAC ducting has to come, that can be separately, that can be individually planned. And lastly, you will be having the as-built drawing. Now what is as-built drawing again? Final drawing all together over the plan if seen from top view, front view, side view, हर जगह से. That is the actual portion of construction जो start हो गया. That is the last final as-built drawing. And all the drawings that you are going to create, it is very, very important to remember, can be asked at the time of interview, that all these drawings are to be approved. If to be approved by the civil department or the municipal department, have to be proposed only in color 8. Color number 8, that is ash gray color. Your as-built drawing can be limited to availability of colorful drawing only if it is for your self purpose. आपको अगर देखना है कि आपके जो supported layers थे जिससे आपने drawing की है, If you want to see how those layers are actually conveying you the message of where is what, where is the exhaust, where is the air terminal, where is the actual grill and etc., you can try for your own particular reference. You cannot distribute that to company on a colorful drawing. It will be disapproved. It has to be approved by Civil Defense Department only in a monochrome color, which is color 8. Is it clear? So these things are to be remembered and very, very important. ये था आपका beginning, how it is going to be executed. Now, from this complete portion, the next page that is on page number 3, that is very, very important to us. All right. On page number 3 and page number 4, we are actually having and dealing with the complete abbreviations that are most oftenly used in the HVAC drafting drawing. Take a little time and try to read, and I'll be reading along with that. The abbreviations under the machine parameter says you have an AHU, FAHU, FCU, and CH. We most often know what an AHU is, what a CH is for a chiller, and etc. So under this one, there are some important things that you need to highlight. Just highlight with me. Highlight the air terminal first, and then you can also highlight the chiller. That is what is a little important to us from the segment there. Then in the second part, you have ducting. In the ducting, the most important thing to understand is the first term SAD, which means supply air duct. All right, this does not have to be replaced with where SAD means as supply air diffuser. All right, if we are going to consider a duct, it is going to be a duct. Plus, you can just apply a slash here. That is a what do you call that otherwise? Forward bracket that you can just apply, and you can write main duct. AD is going to be the main duct, which is going to be attached to your AHU machine in the process of central cooling. So SAD to be highlighted, and you do not have to refer that as supply air diffuser. It is always going to remain as a supply air duct. Below that is going to be the return air duct. You can highlight that one again, RAD, and this is how you have to actually start creating the layers. Okay. Below that you have fresh air duct, then you have an exhaust air, you have a kitchen air, you have a transfer air duct, and etc. After that one you have air terminals, and under the air terminals, the first thing that you're going to deal with the diffuser, it is called SCD, not SAD. SCD defines as supply ceiling diffuse. Highlight, very important, SCD. So every time you deal or call a diffuser, and if I'm going to ask which diffuser in class, you have to tell me quickly whether it is SCD or RCD, because the diffuser here again defines into the supply condition or the return condition. All right, and do we know the process of how does a supply ceiling diffuser leave the air and how a return ceiling diffuser takes back the air? After that you have supply linear slot diffusers, you have return linear slot diffusers, where the air is going to transmit or transform only from one direction, only in the linear way, only in the lateral way the air will be flowing. ठीक है, या तो नीचे totally या तो side में totally. All right, like that one example is there very nicely for us in DMART. All right, they have a lateral supply slot diffuser. All right, first of all they have open ducting, so you can actually see the whole thing. Then lateral ducting के अंदर अगर आप linear slot diffuser लगाएंगे side से, तो वो सिर्फ शून्य के शेप में रहेगा, ओपन करेगा, एक ही फ्लो में उसको फ्लो कर देगा, डक्ट के नीचे नहीं रहेगा, साइड में रहेगा. ऑलराइट, वैसे जगह पे वो जब लगाना पड़ता है जब लार्ज मार्शल्स आते हैं, like a shopping mall or like if it's a stadium or etc., जहाँ पर more the number of people, more the heat is generating, more the cooling has to be in one particular direction. All right, for after that one you can also have a ceiling fan for this distribution of air. All right, जो cool air आएगी, instead of just moving in one direction, it can also move with a fan, with a rotating fan. That happens with a supply linear slot, and that also जो भी supply करेगा उसका एक duplicate return में भी रहेगा. So there is a return linear slot diffuser. Then you have RAG when talking about the grills. All right. So there is a return air grill. You have to highlight RAG, and there is a supply air grill, which means that these are the grills on how you are going to deal with the grills when supported on the step fall ceiling. And similarly, like these linear slot diffusers, you have a linear grill, which is called a register. And these registers, you can also find a very good example in the air coolers, the Deset coolers that we have at home, right? Uske andar you can try to shift the blades above or try to shift the blades below. It's manually done, right? जो आप उसको ऊपर कर सकते हैं for airflow above or below to totally ground floor, ground level. So the movement of the blades that you see, that becomes a register. All right, and if it is having no possible blade movement, it's called a grill. All right, so there that particular thing also is included, and there you can see that one. And on page number 4, you see you have a disc valve. A disc valve is only going to be included in an exhaust duct. all right, for exhausting the heavy smoke or heavy air that is not included inside the room area. Then after that, on number 4, you have accessories, and basic thing that you need to understand is what is the difference between accessories and difference between fittings. If you do not know that now, it will become very difficult in the later classes. So if you have come across any kind of accessory until now in the designing class or any kind of a fittings to kiye honge. Some examples of fittings and some examples of accessories. Shravan, right? Yeah. Some accessories and some fittings, like you should be knowing the difference, where to apply which one and why. Which is a fitting and which is an accessory if you're going to consider a duct or if you're going to consider a pipe that way. How do you connect two different ducts, an L-shaped duct? What would be in between, a fitting or an accessory? I'm not talking about the duct. What is going to help us connect the duct? Something that should hold the duct, right? Right. Yourself, Riyaz? Yeah. What is going to be a fitting? What is going to be an accessory? Doesn't fall under the category of fitting. I am saying, for example, I'll show you a section view of that. I have a particular duct in L shape. Okay. This way. The air is moving this side, moving to this side. Now, what kind of a fitting can I apply? What kind of an accessory I can apply? मेरी एयर यहाँ से मुड़ के यहाँ जाएगी कैसे? बीच में क्या होना चाहिए? फिटिंग होना चाहिए या एक्सेसरी होना चाहिए? फिटिंग में क्या? एल्बो होना चाहिए. एल्बो में कौन सा? हाँ, you have a short run elbow, you have a long run elbow, you have a metered elbow depending upon the clearance package. Okay. So this requires an elbow. Now this elbow is nothing but it comes under fitting. Now fittings are the compulsory things that you need to use. Alright, they cannot be taken as optional. I will say that the duct, no, let the air move however it is, I'm not going to apply the elbow. Chalega? Nahi chalega. Right. So that particular things, the fittings are most of all not optional. They are going to be used or required as per the need, and they're going to be compulsory. Whereas a accessory or any kind of an accessory can be optional if not required, if all the parameters are going to be applied proportionally. Now, can anyone give me one example of an accessory? There is a VCD, there is a volume control damper. There is a butterfly damper. Butterfly damper becomes optional only and only if there is a different kind of a duct. Okay. Yeah. Fire damper. Fire damper becomes important, but still is calculated in the accessories. All right. So because it is holding a damper section and dampers do not come already fabricated. Usko lagana padta. All right. So any kind of a damper that you're going to deal with, it is going to have its own value. It is its own place of adjustment. Fine. Now maybe I can have a fire damper at the beginning of this duct and at the beginning of this duct. It becomes compulsory, but it is still a part of the accessory. Jo cheez compulsory hoti hai, I said it is going to be counted as a fitting. Alright, the fire damper is one such ailment which is important, but yet it is an accessory. Clear? So there is a lot of accessories and fittings that is going to come across our way. First one, very, very important highlight, fire damper. And under the fire damper, have you come across the manual and the motorized one? In the designing class, you have come. What does the motorized damper contain? What the manual damper does not contain? Motorized damper के अंदर कुछ ऐसी चीज है जो manual damper में नहीं है. क्या है वो? Deset switch for resetting what? हाँ, motorized में sensor रहता है जिसकी वजह से it is going to sense the heat more than how much degrees? 70 to 80 degrees nearly. All right. And in the fire damper, what is more dangerous, the smoke or the fire? Why not fire? पहले तो आग लगेगी ना, पहले smoke आएगा. पहले आग लग जाएगी तो smoke होगा. तो why when there is a fire that is more hotter is less dangerous than the smoke which is dense and more dangerous? This is the nuksan that can happen with the smoke. Basically, it is going to flow directly or cover the major part of the duct. Fire though it's going to totally burn the duct. All right. And my duct, no ducts are going to be just straight. Ducts are going to have branches. So एक duct को बचाने के चक्कर में दूसरे पूरे ducts खराब हो जाएंगे, तो दूसरे ducts खराब हो जाएंगे तो cost मेरा बढ़ जाएगा. Right. अगर main duct के अंदर आग लगती है तो that main duct is only going to be removed. It is going to be again fabricated, have an acoustic insulation applied again. only one damage is going to be suspended. The branch ducts are going to be dealing good. So for not letting that amount of denser smoke travel and disturb the other necessary margins, the measurements and materials, we need a fire damper in between. Clear? So where to apply the fire damper, how it is going to be created in SLD, in DLD, it's all going to be different. Fine. The next one you have is a volume control damper. Do you know what is a volume control damper? What does it do? It balances the volume. All right. Then there is a butterfly damper. Where does a butterfly damper first actually locate itself? कहाँ काम आता है? Flexible duct. All right. Now what is a flexible duct? Between a branch duct to the actual air terminal. ठीक है? कितने length का हो सकता है maximum? Feet. That is nearly 1.5 meters. Right? And how much in the? What if I apply a flexible duct of nearly 4 meters? 1.5 maximum है. मैंने 4 meters का लगा दिया, क्या होगा? How is the air going to pass? मेन चीज है वो टिकेगा कैसे? फ्लेक्सिबल है वो तो कहीं भी हिल सकता है ना. हाँ, तो उसको 4 मीटर का अगर लेके छोड़ देंगे तो एक हाँ ऑटोमेटिकली इट विल ट्राई टू फॉल ऑन वन साइड. ये लाइक पहले गिरने दो, हवा बाद में दूंगा, वैसा हो जाएगा. ठीक है, तो वो अब जो सर्टेन अमाउंट ऑफ लिमिटेशंस है, यू कैन ट्राई टू बिल्ड अप थिंग्स ओनली इन दैट मच. व्हाट इज सेट टू हैपन इन 1.5 meters कैन हैपन दैट मच ओनली. Fine. So after that one you have a MVCD, which is a motorized volume control damper, similarly like a VCD, which is normal, which is manual, that is motorized. Then you have some motorized smoke fire damper, which is actually nothing but a fire damper in itself, but that is having a sensor. There is NRD, non-return damper. What does the NRD or an NRV do? NRV, have you people come across? अभी pump selection है हुआ ना, वहाँ पर NRV आएगा. This is a NRD, non-return damper. So what does the term suggest you? नाम के अंदर बहुत meaning है उसके. Only one way. That thing cannot come return. It cannot come back. All right. So anything that you want to push forward only is where you have to apply the NRD. Then there is a VAV, variable air volume. What is a VAV and what is the difference between a CAV? HAP software हो गया ना सबका? VAV, CAV में क्या difference है? समझ में आया तब आप उसको अप्लाई करने वाले एक डिजाइन के अंदर, क्योंकि वो सॉफ्टवेयर है ना. देयर यू कैन ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड मोर कि VAV क्यों यूज कर रहे हैं, CAV क्यों यूज कर रहे हैं. तो व्हाट इज अ CAV, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन अ VAV? डूइंग टेम्परेचर एंड इज इट कॉल्ड वेरिएबल. क्या चेंज हो रहा है उसमें? व्हाट इज वेरिंग? वॉल्यूम इज चेंजिंग. एंड इन CAV व्हाट इज नॉट चेंजिंग? टेम्परेचर और वॉल्यूम? वॉल्यूम इज नॉट चेंजिंग, टेम्परेचर इज बीइंग constant. All right, so that is a CAV, this is a VAV. And what is the VAV going to be attached to in the individual zone space? नहीं, यहाँ पर अब मैंने VAV box का कुछ एक वायर छोड़ा है नीचे. How do I access a temperature of one particular zone? Thermostat. Right, a thermostat has to have a sensor connection to the VAV. That is how it will try to carry out the variation. ठीक है, तो there is a thermostat that is going to be a part of VAV box. And lastly you have a sound attenuator to reduce the sound. Okay, so इसमें से जो fire damper highlighted, then you have volume control damper, then butterfly damper, then you have NRD, you have a VAV, you have a thermostat. And in point number 5, you have others, where you have written T by A, which means to above. Any particular thing that is flowing above, you can write in the continuation from this level to the next level, so you can write to above. The air or duct is following above. And anything from below, or that suppose you're trying to do work on a higher level, there is same construction below also, so you can write reference to below, or you can write referred by T by B. All right, these are just the shortcuts. And then you have same thing with from above or from below, where it is coming from above, from below, right? So these things are important to understand, because the abbreviations are what we are actually going to deal with. Okay, most of the layers are going to be created that way. All right, now on page number 5, you have types of layouts, which are nothing but general layouts. First of all, a general layout is going to consider a concept drawing, which is nothing but as per the civil plan, what you can indulge or include in a drawing. Then there is a design drawing. There can be multiple designs. One will be selected as per the commands and as per the services that are all cleanly and very nicely adopted. Then there is a shop drawing, which is used for coordination. There is an as-built drawing. This is what we know until now. These are general layouts. After that, you have an architectural layout, which contains most of all the furniture layout, the ceiling layout, the tiles layout, and etc. Right? Highlight that one. Furniture layout, detail layout for toilet, kitchen, and wall, until tiles layout, and everything will have its own notes and legends. After that, you have a structural layout, which is going to give you the foundation plan, which includes the wall foundations, beams, columns. You have footings, that is detailed drawings, even the staircases, the waterproofing of your roof, and the section drawings of each and every part. That is all going to be included. Highlight again from 1, 2, 3, 4. Foundation wall, foundation plan, beams, columns, footings, waterproofing. Electrical layout is going to include most of all everything that is included in the electrical or electricity side, like lighting, the appliances connection, and your security, fire alarm, safety, and etc. So highlight the lighting layout, power layout for appliances, and power layout for HVAC. There are going to be a connection, electrical appliance connection to your HVAC systems also. Maybe for example a split AC or a cassette AC, or for that you need a different allocated electrical supply. And for the other appliances like kitchen appliances, maybe a microwave, maybe your other TV, and all these things, it requires a different kind of strategy. Then there is fire alarms, and then you have security systems like CCTV camera, laser sensors. All those are going to come under the electrical layout. The mechanical layout first includes a firefighting layout. Okay, and that also majorly includes your fire extinguisher, which is the manual way of seizing the fire. Then you have the sprinkler layout, automatic sprinkler, which an automatic sensor of your heat will try to split or spang water or carbon dioxide, gas, or all those things in order to seize the fire. That is automatic. Hose reel and internal hydrant layout, for you to have the landing valves, for you to, or the fire brigades to connect the pipes from outside. Those layouts are going to include in the firefighting layout. Then you have external hydrant, that is what is set outside. It will be there inside a cabin, red color box for emergency purpose. There will be a hose reel in that. Then there's control panel schedule at the end of or the beginning of every ground floor basement. You have a firefighting control panel system. It will also include notes and legends. Lastly, what we are going to deal with is the HVAC layout, and inside this firefighting layout, highlight extinguisher, sprinkler layout, hose reel and hydrant, external hydrant. Means in general you should know what will you find inside every layer that is going to be drawn. Fine. Now the HVAC layout that we are having, it will include the machine layout, HVAC or FCU, where to place, how to place, where to create, how to create. Then you have air terminal layout, selecting between diffusers and grills depending upon the false ceiling. Then you have a ducting layout, which is going to be done on SLD and DLD. It is in short called ducting on air side. Okay, highlight that one. Then you have insulation layout, that is ducting and piping for both. What are the two type of insulations we have? One inside and one outside. What is the inside one called? What is the outside one called? Thermal, and it is acoustic. Okay. You have a refrigeration pipe layout, that is at the beginning of chill water pipe. Then you have chill water piping layout, how to do the chill water pipe connection between different, from one chiller to different AHUs. Then you have installation detailed drawing, that is also going to become actually the DLD of your chill water pipe. Then you have a schematic drawing, that is nothing but how to take the front view drawing, that is nothing but section drawing. How to understand the layering and individual calculation of height between from FFL to the direct SSL level, from finished false ceiling to structure slab level. We will be talking that in detail. And then on the next page, that is page 7, from here onwards you have only things that are meant for reading and understanding. Different types of false ceiling. We all know there is a plain, tile, and step false ceiling. So on the plain and tile false ceiling is what we are going to apply. We are going to apply the diffusers. All right, why? Because the diffuser is in the shape of a box, in a shape of a square. So that can be fixed very, very nicely and keenly into the tiles or the plain false ceiling. But I cannot try to do the grills in a plain false ceiling. But most of all in the market, you can see that if you have a plain false ceiling, also the grills are applied. Right. Such a good example of that one is brand factory Abbott's. All right. If you have a time, you can just go and look over there. You'll be having to see that on plain false ceiling there are grills applied. Means directly on one particular portion of the wall or the false ceiling, you will be having grills there. All right. So that is actually not the correct or sustained manner to do the drafting or to do the actual design concept. So because doing that is not going to help the airflow constantly in a very, very nice motion. All right. So uske andar what actually happens is the more pressure and more load is going towards the machine. Right. अब individual diffusers अगर होंगे तो machine is also going to work properly. There is enough amount of CFM to come out from the supply. All right. Now what happens to them is कि when you're going to calculate or purchase a big complete grill, that actually is going to initially cost you less than selecting individual diffusers. So every marketplace or everyone tries to apply or tries to purchase that and put it there. Is like हवा आने से मतलब वैसा हो जाएगा. All right. So it's better to go and follow the actual principles and actual procedures on how to do things. All right. So we have a plain fall ceiling highlight, we have a grid and tile, and we have a step fall ceiling. The step fall ceiling will include, inshallah, the grills. All right, the supply and the ceiling grills. And you also have a note there. For a plain fall ceiling, SCD and RCD are used. What is an SCD? What is an RCD? Supply ceiling diffuser, return ceiling diffuser. Supply air diffusers नहीं बोलते हैं, supply air duct होता है. हाँ, सप्लाई एयर डक्ट रहता है, सिर्फ सप्लाई सीलिंग डिफ्यूजर ही रहना वो, क्योंकि फॉल सीलिंग के ऊपर लगने वाला है ना, लाइक दैट. अब नॉर्मली इट इज ओनली गोइंग टू थ्रो एयर. अब उसमें से नाइट्रोजन हैलोजन गैस तो नहीं आएगी, राइट? नहीं, यूजुअली मार्केट में ऐसा है मिसकंसेप्शन की बोल देते कि सप्लाई एयर डिफ्यूजर है, राइट? सप्लाई एयर ग्रिल है, ऐसा एसएजी बोल देते हैं. बट एक्चुअल नॉमेनक्लेचर ऑफ दैट इज टू डील विद द सीलिंग. जहां लगता है वहां की बात करना, लाइक दैट. उसमें से फ्लो एयर होने वाला है. All right. Both are same only. What to use maximum is supply ceiling diffuser. And then again you have the same thing, return or supply ceiling grill, supply air grill means the same. All right. Just that to not get confusion between SAD two times. Now maybe you are going to write or create layers of two SADs. One you're going to regard as a supply air duct and the other one supply air diffuser. There can be confusion erupted over there. It can be emerged. So not to avoid that confusion, A and D दोनों को change करके CD बना दिए ceiling diffuser. आई बात समझ में? Nothing is wrong in asking or pronouncing it that way, but to avoid confusion or clash detections, it is better to go with the actual parameter, right? Now, when you're going to create the layers, we have seen I had given you a syntax earlier. What is a syntax? People remember? I gave at the time of AutoCAD classes. नहीं दिया? कि दिया? I told that there is something called Deset. All right. That one. Yes, there is something called Deset for you to follow while doing the drafting. It is department, service, element, and tag. Right. So this is how you have to follow the thing while actually creating the layers when dealing with the HVAC drafting. Alright, ये चीज को याद रखना है, समझना है. एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल इसका मैं फिर से दे देता हूँ. Suppose we are dealing with which department? Mechanical department. We are into which service? We are HVAC, क्योंकि mechanical में there is HVAC and firefighting. So we are dealing with HVAC. Now any element of HVAC, for example, chiller. Okay, CH. And the tag means the number of chiller in that particular drawing. Maybe it can be the 12th chiller. Alright, usually इतने chiller रख लेंगे तो फिर. Alright, so with the tag you can actually place that with N, that means number. Alright, so there is a D set that you have to actually follow, department by service to element with the tag. Alright, so remember all these things, and from here it means or deals the same thing, that the layers help us differentiate objects from one another. As per SMAGNA, that is Sheet Metal for Air Conditioning National Association, highlight, the standard the layer system is as follows. Alright, so this is a syntax that is followed by SMAGNA, so that we also have to follow that. M_HVAC_SCD. You can actually try to omit the tag if it is not required or if it is not a very major project. Alright, if only some kind of diffusers are going to be used, you can try to do that. You can just eliminate the tag. So where M stands for mechanical, HVAC refers to the type of service, and SCD refers to the object. And some layer representations are as such. Now from this one, I'm going to ask individually what is which one. Okay, RCD, Yogesh. RCD क्या है? Return ceiling diffuser, ठीक है. SCG रियाज, CG supply ceiling grill. RCG वाले क्या? Return ceiling grill. CAN, yes, तो उसमें ब्रैकेट में लिख लीजिए. CAN is going to be used for the canvas cloth. What is a canvas cloth? Where it will be? We will learn that in the canvas cloth. CANVAS. After that one, MAC, Z. machine, in brackets AHU or FCU. FD, Shravan, fire damper, right? Then after that one, it is written BFD. It is actually not BFD, it's only BD, butterfly damper. वो butterfly को अलग अलग करके लिख दिए, तो just eliminate F from that, it is BD. Yes, Yogesh, VAV, volume. VAV is constant air volume. Then VCD will be volume control damper, and VD will be which one? Shift volume damper, volume control, same, nearly it is same only. चलो ठीक, हाँ वो actually MVCD आना चाहिए था last वाला, motorized volume control damper, but it came VD. चलो, you people are aware of that, that is good enough. All right, now from page number 8 is what I'll be doing it tomorrow, because that will need to create the air terminals directly. I'll be having to show that on the CAT software. All right, we'll start dealing with individual appliances first, like how to create both diffusers and grills, how to create the reducers, how to create the machine, how to create the flexible duct, how to create your trouser piece, how to actually apply your elbows and etc. And then we'll be going into the main project study, which is called SLD and DLD of airside project. All right, and after that we'll be doing the chill water pipe part on the SLD and DLD using the real-time project for your experience on Dubai International Airport Terminal 1 waiting launch area. All right, we'll be doing and taking that as external reference to show you the chill water piping segment. And later on, we will end the classes with the elevation or the schematic drawing. So that's all for today with the introduction.